I wanted to show you something cool, but in about 5 seconds, this light is gonna start flashing. So if you have sensitivity to light flashing, skip ahead 20 seconds. Have you ever been worried about intruders? Now your light can help fend them off. Check this out. Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. What you are seeing and hearing are coming right from Eufy's new wall-mounted light. You know what? Enough talking about this light. Let's get right into the unboxing and installation. Well, check this out. Eufy sent me their newest camera that's also a light, and this is for an exterior use. So it's a wall light that has a built-in camera. That looks pretty sweet. I've tested a few of Eufy's products in the past, and I think that their technology is top notch. I'm excited to see what this camera light combo has to offer. Here's the light opened up, and at first glance we can see it's almost 16 inches long and about 3.5 inches wide. It is a good sized light. Then of course we see our camera right here in the middle. It looks like it's facing down, so that's pretty cool. Does it move? Oh, I can't get it to move. Well, this is interesting. This actually has a mounting base that you're supposed to mount to your, I guess, box, and the wires come up through here, and the top one says G for ground, the middle one says N for neutral, and then the lower one says L for live, so that's where the black wire would go. And then this part corresponds to the back of the light. On the back of the lights itself, there are 3 little pins. You just snap this into place once you get your wiring installed, and you are good to go. Also on the back, there's this rubber door here that I took off to reveal a micro USB port. It's interesting that they didn't use a micro USB-C. Anyway, this is supposed to be a newer product, but they still use that old micro USB plug, and that's just so you can set up the camera before installation. You can see that we are plugged in here on the back, and immediately on the front we see a red blinking light, meaning we have connection. I should have said earlier that this light actually can swivel left to right. That's kind of cool. And also the lights I can twist and swivel independently left to right, depending on what I'm going to need. All right, let's program the app. So we're gonna open up the app on our phone. At the top, as soon as it loads in, we're gonna hit this plus right up here and then scroll down until we find the brand new wall light cam. Let's click it. Of course, we're adding it to our Jeff Reviews for You home. Hit next. So now it's going to ask us to search the QR, and the QR is actually on the back of your light itself. So we've now finished. It tells us not to look at the light. We just scanned it. And so what we're going to do now is we have the USB ready to go. Now it's going to hook to our network. Now we're supposed to poke the pinhole right here and hold it for, I think it says 2 seconds. And the light is supposed to turn blue. Oh, it just beeped. After the beep, you can see that our light is now blinking blue, which means we've paired. Let's hit next. Okay, so we're gonna generate a QR code right here on the phone, and then we're gonna use the camera right here to see the QR code. I'm gonna do that off camera. We just heard an audible sound that said connecting to the Wi-Fi network and to please wait.
Setup was successful.
Looks like we're done. The directions tell us to install our light between 1.8 and 2 meters off the ground, which is about 5 to 6 feet. This one is right around 6 feet, so I'm just gonna take this light down and install it right here. As soon as I took off the old light, I immediately saw a problem. They actually had a plug wired through the wall and just plugged into a local outlet. Frustrating. Anyway, so I ended up having it rewired, so now I can officially do my installation. All right, so since it's kind of a tight install against the wall, I wanted to show you what it was gonna look like. So I have my ground on the top, the white wire here in the middle, and of course the black down here at the bottom. There is just a very small screw that you're supposed to loosen up and then tighten down once you get them in. In my opinion, this was probably the most difficult part of the installation, was getting enough wire out here, but not too much, because when the light goes on, you can't have a whole lot here. And in the process, I end up nicking this wire. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tape that off and then install the light. But just make sure you cut the wire short enough to install it and don't have a whole lot of slack. I pushed most of mine back into the box. And here we have our final installation. I will say that I had to adjust the wiring a few times just to make sure this outer part could seal up against the wall. And then of course you have two very small screws on either side that hold this light into place. I wanted to show you this light. Yes, you can tilt the camera left to right to give you a different camera view, but also look at the lights. The lights can spin 360 degrees around and they are independent. Of course, you have to manually spin them. You can see that we're using this camera or this light at night, and there are a couple different ways you can do this. Right now I have mine set up to come on at 5 p.m. and it shuts off at 7 a.m. You can also have it so it's motion censored, where when someone or something comes in the area, it turns on and maybe starts recording. There's also the night vision. In my opinion, it's always better to have the light on, because although the night vision camera is okay, it's a whole lot better with the light on. There are a lot of cool things in this app. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I really wanted to show you the color changing option. Check this out. You can actually change the color of the light that's on your wall. I prefer the softer tone like this, but for those of you that like that daylight bright, they have that as well. It was getting really bright out here, so I had to go get my dusk sunglasses to help shield the sun. But I have a question for you. What are your thoughts of this eufy wall-mounted 2-in-1 light and camera system? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. I think it's cool that from the app you can actually talk through the light and camera if anyone happens to be around. Check this out. Hello? Hello? What are you doing? What are you doing? I also think it's important to tell you a little bit about the camera. It's a 2K ultra wide angle lens that goes 160 degrees. And with the manual tilt from left to right, you have 30 additional degrees on either side, so you can get that perfect view just for you. Not to mention, you already saw that customizable lighting mode. How awesome. Nothing tells it that you have to clean the outside of your siding more than when you're trying to film a video installing a light and seeing how dirty it is. So we grabbed our 30 seconds outdoor cleaner to get the job done. This is actually also helping us test the waterproof rating, because this says it's an IP66 rating, and we'll see how this looks once we're done cleaning our wall. So here we are in the day after we've sprayed off this light for about 30 minutes until this wall was completely clean. Look at how vivid this camera is, and just listen to the sound. It's actually pretty impressive. In this video, we've been looking at eufy's wired wall light cam. So what did I think of it? First things first, let's talk about price point. It retails right around $150 as per this review. And to be honest with you, that's a similar price point to other items in this category. All right, so what did I like about the light? I like that it's waterproof. It has an IP65 waterproofing rating. I love that you can change the colors of the lights, and there's almost as many colors as you can think of that you can change it. That is very neat. I think it's cool that you can turn the lights from left to right and shine in different areas wherever you might need to be lit up at night. Also, that camera is very, very convenient, and it's pretty clear. Not to mention two-way communication. How cool is that? With the touch of a button, you can talk to whoever is at your camera. I thought that was a pretty cool feature. When it actually shoots video, you actually get a notification to your phone, and it sort of stores on your phone until you run out of space, I guess, so make sure you do run through that. But it's neat that you can download the videos and you can see what happens around your house. One tip I will say is if you're going to be wiring this, make sure you separate your wires. I left mine in their sleeve, and it made it much more difficult to fish through and actually wire this. If I had to do this again, I would separate all 3 wires into the box, and therefore I can move them around a little easier. All right, so what didn't I like about it? Well, not me, but my wife. She says, that looks like a spaceship. And I've always thought this. How come they can't make these kind of lights with cameras and LEDs that maybe looks like a more traditional light? That to me would be pretty sweet. I also was a little worried that the only thing holding this together were 2 very little tiny screws. Although they went into the housing really well and they felt tight, that worries me that that's what's holding this up against the wall. In the end, I do think it's a pretty sweet product, and I love that it's a eufy product and I can just add it to my collection of eufy products, and it's all on one app. That's very, very convenient. Anyway, if this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. I always have a fun time checking out my cameras. You never know what you're gonna get. Woo! I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the Eufy wired wall light cam. You know what, here in this video, I also referenced my 30 seconds cleaner. It's a cleaner that takes that nasty stuff right off your walls. I have to clean mine every spring. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link that review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. You know what? If you've already seen that, I also showed my Ampere Dusk manual tinting glasses. That's pretty cool too. What I'll do is I'll link that right over here, and I would love it if you would click on one of these links. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm gonna join you right here or right there. So go ahead, click one. They're safe, I promise.